The men chosen to play in Australia this summer will write their names into history books forever.
But this year, it's not just the history books where their names will be written, because the class of 2025 are going to have their names turned into a giant mural that's going to be painted by lead artist Nelly in East London. It's been commissioned by Lions principal partner Howden, and we can go live to Nelly now.
Good afternoon.
Hey Nelly, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Tell us a little bit about this mural. When did you first find out about it?
So the brief came in maybe a month ago from Howden Insurance. And immediately it's quite a daunting task because obviously we only managed to work the shortlist down to maybe 180 names. And obviously we still don't know who the final squad is going to be. So we've had to kind of produce 180 separate stencils with all the players, and we're going to pick them from the list, as they're called. Yeah, quite a challenge.
It's also quite a significant line. Look at the size of it. How long has that taken you so far?
So, yeah, I think it was a team of 4 artists working a solid 10-hour day, 4 days. Yeah, a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Good man. Well, it certainly looks absolutely magnificent. And of course, we've got more names to add to that as well. Well, it's my pleasure to welcome onto the stage the head coach of the British and Irish Lions 2025, Andy Farrell, and chair and tour manager, Ian Evans.
And before you start, I would like you to hide those cards because I think there might be some very special names written down on them.
Protected.
Just checking, just checking. Let's just start at the very beginning. I mean, how are you both feeling? Because the focus is very, very much on the names that will be read out, but it's a long process, a tough process. How are you feeling after all of it, Andy?
I'm actually feeling great. I'm pretty chilled, actually, because my job is done and Jan's the one who's going to read it out, so he's got the hard work now. But delighted to get to this stage, obviously. There's been a lot of work in the background with the planning, etc. I know we get to the point now where we get to the real stuff, and that's the rugby.
Exactly that. I mean, this is the first time we've ever been able to announce the Lions squad in front of a live audience. There'll be millions of people watching this around the world. Jan, you've played for the Lions, you've had that honour, but the honour you have today is to be able to tell everyone and make people's dreams. How are you feeling about that?
Well, I feel nervous, but not half as nervous as the players. I mean, that anxiety, tension, and will be palpable at this time. The heart rates will be going, you know. When I first heard via telegram the first time back in 1989.
That was even before CFAX.
And it's not the new telegram, it's the old telegram. You know? and then the next one was something called, you know, for everybody below the age of 40, you wouldn't know, but something called CFAX. Yeah. You know, and the final time was via Sky Sports on TV. So it's amazing how it's moved, but to have an audience in front of us now. It's something truly special to enjoy this moment with us as we build up towards an opportunity for players to live their dreams and act upon their dreams.
And on a day like today, even though you have a very different role, do you still get that muscle memory of what it was like when you were waiting to find out, the nerves that you had?
Even with my age, you mean?
Now, I was actually wondering if you had any nerves, because you were probably just about a shoe-in every time.
Yeah, it's you do think back. It does take you back to muscle memory. Muscle memory for any athlete is all important, but it's the biggest one. And when you sort of think back, you're thinking, well, it doesn't feel that long ago.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the greatest attributes of rugby as a sport is friendship. And you make friendships from those moments when you travel across the globe to take on a host nation, and you make lifelong friends at the back of it. And it's one of our most precious attributes as a sport.
Andy, Jan's just mentioned a couple of those elements there, but what makes the Lions so special?
Oh, it's impossible to put into words unless you've experienced it, and that's not just as part of the inner circle. That's part of the groups, the touring groups that's been there in the past, the fans. for you to be able to come back and explain it doesn't really do it justice. It's unbelievably special because it's 4 nations all coming together as one and uniting and really taking over the country that we're touring in. It's unbelievable, isn't it, Ian, to be in the hotel waiting for a match, a test match on Thursday, and you've been there, you go, and the sea of red just comes in on a Thursday and takes over whatever city is. The power in that of who you're fighting for, and how quickly that bond becomes united is amazing.
And for both of you as well, you know, you only have to look back to maybe a Six Nations where you might end up with people's names being read out and they were, you know, thumping each other just a few months ago, and it's how you then create them to be fighting for the same end result. I mean, that's not just about the stats and being a good player, that's about the character of a player as well.
It is, and isn't that what true rugby is all about? Competition, fight, tradition, year on year. But the minute that these guys who are selected today meet up in a couple of weeks' time, the bond, the respect, it's instant. It's instant, and it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, it's a glorious anachronism, you know, and that's where its beauty lies in that, you know, and that's why that authenticity touches people. That's why they want to engage. That's why they're going to travel across the world. And the last tour to South Africa was robbed of the opportunity for that interaction between the supporters and the players. Now we have an opportunity in this tour to really re-engage again. And that's something truly special, which this group of players and management will enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Andy and Jan are going to be with us for the duration of this, and we'll be hearing from them a little bit later, because it's nearly time to reveal the man that Andy has chosen to captain the Lions in Australia this summer. As they go in search of sporting immortality, only 46 men have captained the Lions since 1888. Andy, what does it take to be a Lions captain?
Wow. That is stacked with all sorts of fantastic superlatives. I mean, wow, he's the beacon, isn't he? He's the beacon, he's the leader, he's the person that everyone looks up to. Not only because he's outstanding at his profession, but how he makes people feel, how he cares for people, how he brings out the best in people, how he allows others to be themselves, to be leaders within that group. And on tours like this, it tests the best of you as far as your leadership's concerned, 100%, because it's a schedule like no other. So it takes a special person, that's for sure.
And Andy, does it take a different type of person? It's one thing being able to captain your own country, but to be able to unite a group of players from all different countries, is that a different skill set?
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. But we've plenty of them that you'll see that get selected throughout the group as well. So this person won't be Lone Ranger out there. He'll feel supported, that's for sure.
Certainly will.
There are only so many ways that we can keep trying not to say the captain's name. In fact, before we reveal who Andy has chosen, let's hear what it means to be given rugby's highest honour from a few men who know exactly what they're talking about.
To be a Lion is an honour.
To captain the Lions, well, that's the ultimate.
For these players, they have waited their whole lives for this game.
Following in the footsteps of legends.
Uniting the best of 4 nations.
Into something more.
The best of best.
The British and Irish Lions.
No words can do justice to the hard work and dedication put in by these players to get themselves to this point in their careers.
In the end, you'll remember the good times.
But it won't be easy.
There will be a time people turn to you.
When backs are against the wall.
And it's up to you to inspire.
There's nothing else after this. When that whistle's gone at the end, there is nothing else.
To unite.
Live up to the jersey. It's a bad feeling when you don't, but it's a great feeling when you do.
To lead.
Today is the day we become the best team in the world.
That's your responsibility.
One thing the jersey does is tell us what we're about. It's going to show us today.
Some days are different.
They change who you are.
Today is one of them.
From now and for the rest of your life.
You're a captain of the British and Irish Lions.
And to captain the Lions, well, that's the ultimate.
It is my pleasure to welcome onto this stage not just a Lions legend, not just a Welsh legend, but a true rugby great, a man who was part of the Lions team that won the last series in Australia back in 2013. Put your hands together for Mr. Alan Wynne-Jones.
In the middle, otherwise I would have looked like the mascot.
Alan Wynne, it's great to have you here. This is such a huge day. When we turn our attention back to 4 years ago, I think when I did the launch and announced you as the captain, you were a hologram. It was COVID, you were in Wales, you were a hologram, I was in London. Real life Alan Wynne is so much better.
Well, thank you very much. But it was a bit more Star Trek than today, wasn't it? But yeah.
But the feelings must be the same. I mean, this is such a momentous day for anyone whose name's about to get read out.
Oh, massively so. I think for some it's a life's work, for some it's a career's work to that point. On a personal level today, to be back here gives me a certain amount of closure that you don't necessarily get when you finish in certain things. And to pull on a Lions jersey, for me was a life's work. And I'm grateful to be here to share with everyone, and obviously the man that's going to be named as next in line. To put on a Lions jersey is phenomenal, but to captain the Lions, that's next level, that's special. What does it mean to you? I think you look at some of the names and the history. That's I was listening earlier to what Yayan and Faz were saying about credibility, authenticity, history. To put on the jersey, but to carry Bill out on that pitch in a test series, particularly in 13 for me, and obviously the backdrop of 21 was arguably some of the highlights of my career.
You used the word closure in terms of being here to assist with this handover, to see what it means to everybody else in the room. Does it feel like you've come full circle? Yeah, and I think that's important. I think in sport and life you don't necessarily get those opportunities, and as a captain I get the honour to hand it on, if you like, and some players don't get that, but I think when the world's spinning so fast and sport's going so quickly, it's nice to hold on to some of these traditions. Okay, here we go. Andy, can you please reveal the name of the man you've chosen to captain the British and Irish Lions tour to Australia this summer?
Are you ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you your 2025 British and Irish Lions captain. It's Maro Itoje.
Good luck, lads. Go on, we'll see you after now. that slow.
Congratulations.
So there you go, your British and Irish Lions captain Maro Itoje, and a massive thank you to Alan Wynne-Jones. Maro, it's finally been announced. What does this moment, what does being the British and Irish Lions captain mean to you?
It's hard to articulate, really. It's a tremendous honour. It's a tremendous privilege. You know, you think about the people who've held this position before, and it's remarkable. So it's an honour, and you know, I will do my very best to make sure I can contribute to a successful tour.
How and when did you find out?
So I found out on Tuesday. I got a call from an Irish number. I thought, I don't have many Irish people calling me, so I didn't have his number saved either. So I was like, okay, sugar.
Well, hold on.
So I picked it up. I heard a Wigan accent. You're like, hey, Maro. I'm like, okay.
From an Irish number.
Kind of put two and two together. So yeah, but it was also kind of a bit niggly because the signal was quite bad. So.
It was actually shocking. It was such an anticlimax, actually, because I'd phoned his head coach at Saracens, of Mark McCall, to try and find out when training was finished, when he was going to be on his own, because it's important that they're able to savour it, have a moment on their own, instead of being at training in front of the lads, etc. So I found out when he was going to be finished training. So I decided I'd phone him at 3 o'clock. And by that time, I'm at the airport. So I rang Maro. He said hello. And I said, Maro, it's Andy Farrell. Can you hear me? You're going, yeah, I can hear. And he started cracking up, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't get the words out because he couldn't hear. Anyway, I put the phone down. So I put the phone down, and then it's gone, isn't it? Like, you know, because he knows something's brewing. So I rang him back and I went, oh, by the way, would you like to be British and Irish Lions captain? So,
we are supposed to be a professional organisation.
I tried my best.
Thank goodness the call ended that way, otherwise this could have been really, really awkward. Last night there was a captain's dinner, which is going to become a new tradition, and I know it was incredibly emotional. There was quite a lot of flash photography, but just take a look at this.
Tour, British and Irish Lions tour to Australia. Tour captain, Maro Itoje. Please be upstanding.
And Maro, you love the history of this sport. You appreciate what all of this means. You were the youngest player. You were carrying Bill around. To now have gone full circle, to be announced as the captain. I know you sort of struggle to put it into words, but when you see the other people who have captained the Lions beforehand, that's when it must have sort of really hit.
Yeah, last night was amazing to spend time with some of these illustrious captains, some of which are here today. Was amazing. It's a brotherhood. It's a unique club, and to spend time with them, for them to show the love and care and appreciation that they still have for the Lions. You know, some of these guys played for the Lions, what, 40, 30 years ago, and you can see the passion, you can see the pride in the way they talk about it, the way they care about it. So it was absolutely amazing to be a part of that, and yeah, I think it's our responsibility now to take it forward. It's our responsibility now, alongside the rest of the squad, to make sure that Lions continues to be in an elevated position.
Absolutely. Well, Maro, Andy and Jan aren't going anywhere, so we'd ask you to do the same. Don't go anywhere, because after the break, we'll be revealing the names of the British and Irish Lions that Andy and his team have chosen to Australia this summer. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Hello and welcome back. It's Lions Squad announcement day. That's still to come, but we do have our captain. Maro Itoje is the 47th Lions captain and the first English since Martin Johnson.
Yeah, it's exciting. We have it now. So we've got part one of that as well. We also have a live link now to Nelly, who's updating that mural. So let's take a look at Nelly and his work. And that's Maro Itoje's name. Top right.
How do you manage that?
It's there.
Maro, I think we've got some pictures of you as well as just a little younger. We're not going to... I'm not going to troll you like you did to Yayan and talk about age, but there we go. There's a young Maro Itoje. When you think back to those days, do the emotions come flooding past when you had to cart Bill around for all that time?
Yeah, I'm just grateful I have a little bit more facial hair than, just a little bit. But nah, carrying Bill around was an absolute pleasure. It started off as a pleasure. It did become a little bit of a pain. But I know the person who's going to carry Bill around this tour is going to enjoy and hate the process. So.
Well, we know that winning in Australia is a big challenge, but let's just remind ourselves of what happened the last time the Lions toured in Oz back in 2013.
The first test of the 2013 series. North goes on the outside! North for the corner! He's been unleashed! Cuppert's going through! All the way through! Bill, oh, he slipped! The Lions have it! Absolutely incredible sight from George North. And of Ashley Cooper! And Australia have done it in the most difficult of circumstances. Who is brave enough to seize their moment in rugby history? Corbisiero! The Lions cut themselves free. Halfpenny going here, inside to Sexton! There it is for Johnny Sexton and the Lions! Roberts is going through now. It's done, it's dusted. Archive it. History made.
Andy, history made back in 2013, but in the modern era, the British and Irish Lions have never been able to go back to back, and that's the opportunity presented to yourself. It's a massive challenge, a huge opportunity, but how much more does that excite you?
Wow, that's that would be special, wouldn't it? Because going back to that tour, that was an unbelievable experience. It was such a brilliant tour from start to finish. 2013, 1-1 in the series, going down to the final game and performing when we needed to. Alex Corbisiero, who wasn't initially selected in the squad, came over on tour for Cian Healy, who got injured in the first game in Perth, and he ended up getting man of the match and stealing the show in the last game, and that epitomises what the Lions is all about. The interest in 2013 was immense. I mean, through the roof. It's something that I've never experienced before, but apparently, I'm told on good authority that the interest has never been any bigger or better. We was out there in January. The stadia it blows you away, actually, the stadia, and the exposure that's over there to the Australian public as well. When you say that about going back to back, it makes it even more special, doesn't it? What a challenge that's ahead of us, but what an exciting time for everyone.
Andy, over in Rome, there's a lot of people waiting for some white smoke. I imagine it's quite the same if you're a player watching this. You'll probably be getting a little bit impatient. Tell us about the process that you've gone through to get to this list, because very, very shortly, we are about to announce this squad.
I need to leave time for Yayan to do his job here, so where do you want to start? I started the job in December on a sabbatical, and you've got to build it right the way through from scratch, really. So you get the right people in place that's going to help you build a plan and the schedule, and then you want to get to the rugby, and when you get to a point where you're able to select the coaches and the performance team, etc., then you can start getting to the point. And the plan the schedule that you've built together. Now you're trying to fill it in. Who's the personnel who can make this work, and that's the key to the tour.
I'm just going to break rank a second and ask Hugo a question, because you've been in this position before. You were a player who you had 6 England caps to your name. You were picked. Can you just remember how nerve-wracking it was? Were you expecting to go?
You're hoping to go. Everyone's hoping to go. The worst thing about the day is the wait. So with that, should we kind of crack on?
It's that fine line between sport and entertainment, isn't it? Okay, here we go. We are going to start with the forwards. It's time to find out which players Andy and his team have selected for the British and Irish Lions men's series in Australia. Ian, with the forwards first. It's over to you.
Thank you very much. Really is my great pleasure and thrill as chair and tour manager of the British and Irish Lions to announce the forwards for the 2025 tour to Australia. Forwards. Tig Byrne. Munster Rugby and Ireland. Ollie Chesham. Leicester Tigers and England. Jack Conan. Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Luke Cowan-Dickey. Sale Sharks and England. Scott Cummings. Glasgow Warriors in Scotland. Tom Curry. Sale Sharks in England. Ben Earl. Saracens in England. Xander Ferguson. Glasgow Warriors and Scotland. Tig Furlong. Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Ellis Genge. Bristol Bears and England. Maro Itoje. Captain, Saracens in England. Ronan Kelleher. Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Joe McCarthy. Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Jack Morgan. Ospreys and Wales. Henry Pollock. Northampton Saints and England. Andrew Porter. Leinster Rugby and Ireland. James Ryan. Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Pierre Schoeman, Edinburgh Rugby and Scotland. Dan Sheehan, Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Will Stewart, Bath Rugby and England. And Josh van der Fleer, Leinster Rugby and Ireland.
Wow. So there you have it. They're the forwards for the British and Irish Lions. Selected there. by Ian Evans. I think it's fair to say everyone's really happy, but Henry Pollock seems to have a lot of fans. A lot of fans. And without further ado, Ian Evans, can you reveal the backs?
Okay. And it's now my pleasure to announce the backs for the 2025 tour to Australia. Bundy Aki. Connacht Rugby and Ireland. Elliot Daly. Saracens in England. Tommy Freeman. Northampton Saints and England. Jamison Gibson Park. Leinster Rugby and Ireland. I hope he looks better before we get on tour. Mark Hansen, Connacht Rugby and Ireland. Hugh Jones, Glasgow Warriors and Scotland. Hugo Keenan, Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Blair Kinghorn. Stade Toulousain and Scotland. James Lowe, Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Alex Mitchell, Northampton Saints and England. Gary Ringrose, Leinster Rugby and Ireland. Finn Russell, Bath Rugby and Scotland. Finn Smith, Northampton Saints and England. Marcus Smith, Harlequins and England. Sione Tui Pulotu, Glasgow Warriors and Scotland. Duan van der Merwe, Edinburgh Rugby and Scotland. And Thomas Williams, Gloucester Rugby and Wales.
So there's your squad. Please put your hands together for the chairman of the British and Irish Lions, Ian Evans. So there you have it. That's your squad. 21 forwards, 17 backs. The British and Irish Lions squad to Australia contains a squad of 38. So we now know the British and Irish Lions squad this summer. And there's loads to discuss. So join us in a couple of minutes where we'll be having more reaction as well as conversation. Andy Farrell, Ian Evans and Maro Itoje. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Well done.
Hello and welcome back to the live Lions squad announcement. Before the break, we revealed the British and Irish Lions who will be touring Australia this summer. But I am delighted to say that I have been joined by Johnny Sexton. Johnny, very much in your new role. When you stood here and listened to all the names being read out, did that bring back some memories? You've obviously been on the good side of it. You've obviously been on the less good side of it, to put it politely. And there'll be players who have been tuning in to watch this who are feeling exactly the same on both sides.
Yeah, it's a huge day for all the players and their families. I think that needs to be noted as well. And I've been on both sides of it, like you said, where it's one of the best days of your career, and I've been in the place where it's probably one of the worst days of your career. So look, it's a very special day. They'll remember it forever. And the one thing you'd say, though, is, if you weren't picked today, there's still plenty of rugby to be played. And like Faz alluded to, Maro came out to Australia and won us the series and wasn't in the initial squad. So I'm sure everyone will be trying to prove their point over the next few weeks. And yeah, all the best to the lads. It's a very exciting squad.
And in terms of your role heading out there, it's a little bit different to what we've seen. You're joining an experienced coaching squad. You obviously know Andy very well. You know Joe Schmidt very well, who's on the opposing side. What are you going to be doing on the ground in terms of interacting with the players?
Well, looking after the kicking side of the game. So obviously there's some amazing talent picked there from that point of view, and I'll be there to, I suppose, help them out wherever I can. It's a short tour, so being able to change too much won't be a thing. But I'm there. Like, I've experienced a lot as a kicker. I've experienced a lot as a player. So being able to pass on my experience to these guys is something I'm very passionate about. I'm really looking forward to getting to know them.
And it's not just the technical stuff as well. I mean, you've been there for previous tours. You know how important it is to gel as a side, regardless of what nation you play for. And that's maybe one of the easiest bits because of the socials, but also one of the trickiest bits to get right on the pitch.
It is. It's the most important thing. But you know what? When you come in, you leave your rivalries at the door. You know what I mean? You have a responsibility to the Lions jersey to mix with the other nations, make sure you get on, and but it happens naturally. Often the guys that you're at war with for the Six Nations become your best friends, and that's what happened with me and on a few of the tours. So yeah, it was a fantastic experience. It's the pinnacle, honestly. It's when you get picked today, it's one thing, but then getting, fighting for a Test jersey, and then if you can be lucky enough to be on a successful tour, it'll live with you forever. So it's very, very special.
Johnny, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your insight. Put your hands together for Johnny Sexton. Well, there is an awful lot to try and unpack, to try and discuss. Excuse me for walking in front of you. And we're going to try and speak to some of the players as well. Hugo, take us through the next.
Yeah, so let's start with the forwards. You've selected 21 forwards. I mean, all phenomenal players. We see them all there as individuals. But as a coach, trying to put that together, what do you have to consider? The combinations, the personalities, or a melting pot of all of that, Andy?
Well, all of that, yeah, obviously. But first and foremost, can I just say congratulations to everyone who's been selected. It is a special day, like Johnny just said. To be involved in the 38-man squad is something that they'll remember forever. But also commiserations to the guys who had dreams of being selected today. It is 100% true of what Johnny's just said. We all know there's nothing more sure on a Lions tour that things happen, not just on tour, but between now and getting on the plane as well. So the stories on every single tour that we can talk about. So for everyone who has ambition, keep fighting, stay fit, keep fighting, and we'll be watching. Well, what did you say? The forwards. Well, I mean, what you're after more than anything as a coach, you're after the right balance, the right blend, people who are not just going to complement each other as far as combinations are concerned, but people who are going to set standards, who are going to create competition within the squad. And if you look through the talent within that, and the backs as well, then you can all see that people are going to be vying for respect. Ultimately, that's what it's about. You want respect from your peers, and this is the best of the best. And you're fighting for that respect so that people remember you forever. It isn't just about friendship. That's that will come naturally. It's about fight and competition and driving forward together and being the best teammate that you can possibly be.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, one of your teammates, Maro, I think we're fortunate enough to be able to get up onto the screen now. It's Farrell.
I knew it.
Well, Ben, we're live on TV, so just whilst we want you to be emotional, just be mindful. First of all, congratulations. The emotions in the aftermath of being able to hear that incredible news.
Yeah, it's been a torturous couple of weeks. So for it to come down to today was amazing, and yeah, it's the best news probably I've ever had in my career. So I'm so pleased.
Ben, just try and take us through, you said the last couple of weeks, particularly the last 24 hours, because everyone here sits around thinking it's like Christmas Eve and we're very excited. I imagine it's a little more stressful from your point of view. Did you sleep last night? Were you nervous?
Didn't sleep at all. No, well, it's been painful, it's been long, you overthink everything, but it's out of your hands and you just try and do as best you can with the situation that it is. So, like I said, overwhelmed and so excited to get going.
I never thought you could be out-celebrated, but the live audience here, I think, out-celebrated you on the pitch, which is absolutely remarkable. You're not only in the squad, but you're also being captained by your teammate, Maro Itoje. He's sat here with us right now. Just a word of appreciation about the man that's going to lead you down in Australia.
Yeah, firstly, so pleased for Maro. I've not had the chance to speak to him because he didn't turn up to training today, so... Now, what a leader and what a year he's had and we've had together. No one deserves it more, and can't wait to watch him go and lead the best team in sport, I guess.
And Ben, just before we let you go, you've spoken to family and friends. They've heard the news, were watching this, have celebrated with you?
Yeah, Mum was crying, Dad was trying not to cry. A couple of my teammates around mine now and are jumping around in the TV room now. So yeah, can't wait to go and join them.
Ben, can you take your camera with you? Can we see the celebrations happening next door?
I think I might be tortured if I do, but I'll just turn it around and see if I can do it. How do I do this?
Ben, congratulations. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, now I think we can head north of the border up to Scotstoun. And there we have 4 very happy Glasgow Warriors. This looks like the naughty corner, but it's actually the very successful corner. Hugh, if we just start with you, just try and sum up your emotions.
Yeah, just incredible. My heart was beating so fast during that. I went through the alphabet like 10 times in my head. Just to keep checking. But yeah, just incredible. The boys, well, they've all gone home now. But like just the reaction of everyone around us was just so good. Yeah, just an incredible feeling.
And Sione, for yourself, a massive moment for you. This will be your first tour. First of all, congratulations. There's a lot of people putting you in squads. Not seen you play for a little while. How's the fitness? Can you give us an injury update?
Yeah, everything's going really well, mate. I've been back into full training for the last couple of weeks, hitting things again, and I'm feeling really good. So it's either going to be this week or next week that I'm going to be able to play just before we go on this finals run with Glasgow. But yeah, to be honest, mate, I'm struggling to speak a little bit because that was a lot for me, and obviously I was the last to get an ounce out of these boys, and just relief, excitement, everything you can probably imagine, mate, and. Yeah, Farrell.
First, hearing Sione Tuipulotu say he's out there hitting things, I think makes us all very happy indeed. And Xander, for you, I'm sure equally as thrilled. What does this moment mean to you?
Just really grateful, really happy. Pinch myself moment, every time. Getting picked 4 years ago was an absolute dream come true, and I absolutely love that tour. And to get an opportunity and get picked again today is just, absolutely incredible, and just really happy.
And Scott, whilst Hugh was going through the alphabet, your name came pretty early on, so you maybe had a slightly easier listen than some of the others. But try and sum up the emotions, what it means for you to be selected in the British and Irish Lions. Is this what dreams are made of?
Yeah, it really is. It's like Hugh and everyone said, these are moments that we love. This is one of the biggest moments of my career, and yes, that feeling of sitting there waiting in the letters. I was struggling. There's a lot of C's going on. So I was counting the alphabet as well. And yeah, it's just one of those absolute pinch yourself moments. Like, can't believe it.
Okay, Hugh, are you going to do anything to celebrate today? Celebrate this moment?
Probably just get home, see my family. We've got team on tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, just enjoy the moment, I think. And yeah, just sort of, I'm looking forward to just get home and see my family.
Hugh, that sounds thrilling.
That's a great answer, in my opinion.
To be fair, I think if he said he was just about to go out on the lash, he'd probably get into trouble. So I think that's by far the best answer. So thank you very much, guys.
I don't think he's on the social committee for the tour, is he?
Yeah, exactly. Andy, we've had a look at the forwards in their fullness, so let's have a look at the backs as well. In terms of the combination, it's the same again, isn't it, for you?
Of course, if you look through that, it is the balance, isn't it? You know, it's about different combinations. Of course, it is. But on tour, the games come thick and fast. You've got to have those hybrid players as well that are able to fill in, not just in training to help preparation, but in games, because as we know, it's a hell of a schedule. You know, 10 games in 6 weeks will test everyone. So it's the blend of all that comes together. But again, competition for places, that's the main thing.
Competition for places as well as characters, and we're able to chat to one of them now. We're going to head over to Ireland, and I'm hoping that we're able to chat to Mac Hansen from Connacht Rugby.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Let's hope his connection's a little bit better to yours. Oh, the connection's gone.
Andy, when you say we're going to join Mac Hansen and then you say, are you serious? We've actually now lost him, but you've selected him. Can I just say...
It wasn't me, it was the other coaches.
Well, hold on a second, because your worst nightmare is about to be...
Oh, here we go. Strap in.
Mac is back. Yes, there he is. Matt, that is a very tranquil background. Were you out there when you found out that you'd been selected for the Lions?
Yeah, I was just heading for a swim, trying to clear the heads. So I was... I'm lost for words for the first time in my life, I'd say, which is good for Baz to hear. Yeah, no, it's an incredible... I don't know what to say, honestly. This has been sprung on me. Bundy was meant to do it, but he's minding the kids.
Well, Matt, congratulations. Matt, congratulations. We'll keep it short and sweet because we've got someone else we'd also love to chat to and congratulate. Thomas Williams is here with us. Thomas, warm reception here from us here in London. First of all, congratulations. The emotions in the aftermath of hearing your name announced.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I did shed a tear, yeah. Very proud, yeah.
And Thomas, that's the thing. We've had so much excitement and players unable to sort of get the correct words out, but there's an awful lot of emotion because you see the great rugby highs. There's always great rugby lows that you've got to come through to get to this position. Just try and sum up what this means to you and everything that you and your family have gone through to get you to this point.
The last 2 days I never get nervous, but I've been emotional wreck the last 2 days. Just grateful for my parents, firstly, and my partner Laura, and everyone who's helped me this far, yeah.
Tomas, we've been speaking to some legends, we've heard from some legends. You're hoping to write yourself into the history books as well, but what does it mean to be a Lion? What does that represent to you?
I think it's just it's the I can't put into words really. Yeah, it's just the top of the mountain, isn't it? I think you can't get much higher than this achievement, and yeah, to put all this work in throughout your career and throughout your life, yeah, it's yeah, like as you can tell, I'm lost for words.
And Thomas, it shows you what a huge moment it is, because it's not often that scrum halves are lost for words, is it?
I'll get a bit of stick for this, no doubt.
Well, it's such a wonderful achievement and so hugely deserved. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been absolutely incredible, hasn't it? Just the range of emotion to the players. I mean, for you guys as coaches, just talk us through how robust some of those conversations have been.
Robust? Oh yeah, it's been great, and that's the way it should be, isn't it? If it was easy, we've not got a good squad. It was difficult, very difficult. In fact, you know, going from, say, 75-ish players and getting it down to, say, 55, that's the next stage. That's tough enough. That's tough enough as it is, which says everything about the process itself. But getting it down to the final 38, you know, it's my job to play devil's advocate and, you know, ask the questions of why, etc. So we can just thrash it out properly. And, you know, the chats that I've had, the honest chats that I've had with all the coaches of the players that we've talked about have been fantastic, you know. So we're able to do everyone justice, really. But to get from, say, 55 to the number 38 is extremely difficult. And then you get to about 90%, and the last 10% is torture. But and that's exactly how it should be. It just means that we've got a fantastic competitive squad.
Thank you so much. Well, that's the end of the show. Our thanks to Andy Farrell, Ian Evans and Maro Itoje, and a huge congratulations to all the players that have been selected.
The action gets underway on the 20th of June when the Lions take on Argentina in a warm-up game at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. But from all of us here in London, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.